Hey, I think we managed it. Well, it's been a little while, and I can only apologise for that. All sorts of things have kind of happened. The best laid plans are mice and men, as they say. And to say we've had a few issues is a bit of an understatement. So, where are we? Well, I've just had somebody this morning give me a roasting, and I don't blame them for their harshness. I don't blame them for the abuse. I don't blame them for, calling me all sorts of names. Not names that I think are very nice, and not names that I really want to be called. But I always said, didn't I? I said, if I don't come out of this, I'm going to end up being the most hated man on the internet, I reckon. And I don't think that's far from the truth. And there's only so far I can go with, blaming external forces. I mean, at the end of the day, it's up here that makes the decisions. You make a decision to go this way, or you make a decision to go this way. One of those decisions is invariably going to be the right decision, and one of those decisions is invariably going to be the wrong decision. How many times in our life do we think about making a decision on something or other and then regret it afterwards? So, I don't blame them for the abuse that I've got. That person will be watching, and to that person I say essentially what I said to them by text. There is only so much I can take responsibility for. I mean, I take responsibility for everything. Say there's only so much. I take responsibility for everything. Absolutely bloody everything. How can I not? Of course I do. However, there are some things that have been beyond my control. Completely and utterly beyond my control. And this person this morning was saying, where's my money? I want my money. And I have to have the conversation with them and say things like, do you not remember me coming on and saying again and again and again and again, begging everybody, do not let me go under. The last thing you want is me going under. I go under, you lose. It's that simple. It's not rocket science. I go under, you lose. It is that simple. Just got to negotiate an area here because there's a hose pipe that goes, you might be able to see behind me, there's a school there on the field. So there's the field, it's got a fun day on today. And there's a school behind me, and there is tennis courts there. And running all along them tennis courts is a hose which goes all the way to the end. And at the end there's like a vegetable garden where they teach the kids and one thing and another. And someone has come along and cleared that bit all the way along. And it looks like they've done it with a metal bladed strimmer. And they've cut through the hose pipe that goes the entire length that carries water to the allotmenty area at the bottom. And I have reported that to everybody. I've reported it to the water board. I've reported it to the people that run the park. I've reported it to the flipping school. In fact, there was a bloke over here one day doing something with some kids about 3 days ago, and I pointed it out to him, told him exactly what it was, where it was, everything, and said, look, see that hose that goes into the building? Just find out what that connects up to and turn the water off. That's all you got to do. Has it been done? No. Which means that we've had essentially a hose pipe on full for a week. And the water's just pouring into the park. Anyway, I digress, as usual. It's not my problem. Even though I tried to make it my problem by getting involved, being like a busybody and trying to tell people, hey, quick, stop this, we've got too much water wastage, but nobody gives a fuck, so, you know. And that's half of what's wrong with this country, in my humble opinion. Nobody gives a toss. Nobody cares. People only care about themselves and they don't care about others. So why should anybody take any notice of that water? It doesn't affect them. It's not leaking in their house and in their bedroom. So why should they care? Meanwhile, the school is going to end up with a water bill for thousands of pounds. Mental. Anyway, where was I? So, as I was saying, I was getting a roasting. That person knows who they are. And I've said 100 times, don't fucking let me go under. I don't want to go under because of the people that it's going to affect. Doesn't bother me to go bust. In Barclays Bank 20 grand. That is just business. Who cares? That's just business. Can't do anything about that. And when I say who cares, I don't mean that in an unkind way. It's just business. It happens every day of the week. But when you're dealing with personal people, I try. And I have tried for 6 years, 7 years, however long it's taken, 5 years, however long it's been. You know, there are things I couldn't have foreseen. I don't blame that psychopath Warren for everything. Hopefully now he's been arrested. If he hasn't been arrested, hopefully he will be soon. I've had no more communication from the police since last time. But I'm hoping that was funny, that was. I can talk about it now. That was so funny. I wrote this letter to the police officer dealing with it. And I just said, you know, certain things, well, I can't remember everything I said in there, but I said certain things in there and said, you know, these are the repercussions of what can happen next. These are the things he's threatened. These are what he could do. If he does this kind of thing, then, you know, we don't know whether he will or not, but if he does and goes further with his threats and all the rest of it, then this could have a detrimental effect on certain police officers. And anyway, it's no point me going into whatever. But I'd clicked reply. This is the funny bit. I'd clicked reply to this police officer's message when I should have clicked forward, because at that moment I was on a message of, and what I should have clicked was forward, to forward it. That's what I was in the process of doing. Forwarding the certain emails to the police officer with a comment. And I clicked reply. And I ended up sending my entire email with my comments directly to Warren, who could then see and read the email that I just thought I'd just sent to the police. As you can imagine, you know, I think Warren was made up that. But I wonder if it did something. I wonder if it clicked something in his head. Because I then got an email from Warren, like he shit himself, and saying at the bottom of that email, don't ever contact me again, I'm never contacting you again, I want this to stop, you're a bully. You know, all the way through this, he calls me a bully. He says I'm the one that was attacking him. All the way through. You know, for 5 years, he said I'm the one attacking him. Fucking idiot. Anyway. He sends me this email, which basically says we're not to have anything more to do with each other. And it read like he'd shit himself, realising how far and how serious I was going with the police. And from that day to this, I've had not a peep, not an email, not a peep. It has been a blissful 6 to 8 months of not having, however long it's been, 4 months, 6 months, of not having a single abusive correspondence with him. So that's been lovely. Obviously, if he's still out and about, now I've mentioned his name, he'll probably send some kind of message. But, you know, and I guess I'm opening that up, but who gives a fuck now anyway? I don't care. There's so much damage that's been done. The police won't take anything, or wouldn't at the time take anything I said seriously, you know, because it's all right to abuse people by email and social media. And now, of course, the powers that be, with everything that's been going on in the news lately, have all suddenly said, oh, hang on a minute, hang on, abuse on social media, abuse by email, abuse by messages, oh, that's no good, we've got to start banging people in prison for that, that's bad. Well, I've been having that off of this idiot for, not an idiot, he's a psychopath, I've been having that off him for the last 6 years. So, hopefully, the points, we'll get enough points, and if there isn't an investigation going, there soon will be, going by the standard of what they're arresting and banging away people in prison for at the moment. And if he ends up going to court at the moment, he ain't going to get no 6 months. He's going to end up with 4 or 7 years. So, excuse me, I'm hoping that goes through. Meanwhile, I digress, back to what we was going on about. So, I'm trying to give you an update, of course. So, I believe, I'm not talking like this because I'm trying to make excuses for myself. I mean, at the end of the day, this could turn into a 6-hour video if I'm not careful, trying to go through everything and explain everything. And what's the point? You all know what's happened. You all know what happened 6 years ago. You all know what happened 3 years ago, and you all know what happened a year ago. So, you know, my kind of last-ditch attempt was, if you like, the show that I did last year, whereby quite a fair few of you helped me and came up with the money for me to go. That feels like a piss take. I mean, you know, I came back from that show and it didn't work. It was bollocks. It was shit. It was absolute garbage. They put us in an area where there were no visitors. If there's nobody coming past your stand, how can they possibly buy anything? There was 12 or 18 people all around us. None of them did any business. So that was shit, and that was a waste of £8,000. I mean, Jesus Christ, how much money are you going to waste? I can almost hear you, some of you, screaming at me at the screen, going, for fuck's sake, Ian, how much money are you going to waste? But you've got to try. You have to fucking try. You have to try. Because the alternative is just to lay down and die. The alternative is to take 800 quid or whatever it costs now, go to the court and go bankrupt. That's the alternative. There's no middle ground here. Fran, as you know, is a psychotherapist. She believes and understands in all the middle grounds and grey areas and all the rest of it. Not me. Not me, I'm an Aries. And my brain understands black, white. It doesn't understand a lot of the middle areas and grey areas and shit like that. It just understands black and white. Either it is or it isn't. Either you're trying or you're not trying. There's no middle ground with that. You're either trying or you're not trying. Anyway. Tried everything I can think of. We lost the raffle site. My last ditch attempt is in the website Raffall, where I'm putting up prizes, and the idea is half the money that comes in, I'll use that for the investments. But fucking hell. I mean, I'm putting up £1,200 worth of prizes, £2,000 worth of prizes, and I'm collecting in 200 quid. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? You know, the definition of madness is to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. Well, I'll come that way. I'll go there. Come on. So I've just seen someone I walk around the park with. So I have to stop. I've just got to stop. You know, I'll keep the raffle going as long as I can, but there's only so long I can put £1,000 worth of prizes up and take 200 quid. You know, it ain't going to work any other way. Nothing's going to work. Not with them kind of ratios. But I'll keep trying with that whilst I'm trying to save 800 quid now. And I'll just go to the wall. I'll go bust. I mean, the other thing was, I wanted to get to TGBCH. I wanted to try and put as much as I can and protect it under TGBCH Limited. And I formulated a company, TGBCH Limited, and there was only one person that was interested enough to be a director to try and help me with that. I asked and asked and asked for people, if anybody wanted to be a director, to come and help me save that. But that's not me moaning when I say nobody wanted to know. I'm not moaning. I don't blame people for not wanting to know. I don't blame people for going, yeah, bollocks, I'm not, no thanks, not for me. I don't blame people for that. Don't have 1 and 1 to make 2, then you haven't got a 2. And therefore, you haven't got a 2 and a 2 to make 4. One thing has to happen before another thing happens. And I couldn't make that happen. Only one person would do it, and that person got really ill really quickly. And it just meant that now I'm running a limited company on my own, which I couldn't do. I said that at the beginning. And so now I've just dissolved that company. We have a limited company for Artisan Island Limited. And that little business is protected. But I'm struggling to do more than that. I mean, at one point we had £2,000 a month on subscriptions, as you know. Well, but I had Harry's wages to pay for and something else to pay for. There just wasn't enough money coming in, and I couldn't get to the target. I just couldn't get where I wanted to be. And now it's all fucked. So things have happened as far as the Artisan Island are concerned. That is going great guns at the moment, but it's not like it's making millions. It's not like it's making hundreds or tens of thousands. So I can't exactly, you know, get that company to help. And you're not allowed to take money out of it anyway, because that becomes embezzlement. That's the thing with a limited company. So that is working. It's not covering my full wages because it's paying someone else's wages, but it is working. And I've just been offered another premises that is massive. It's an old boot store, and I've been offered 6 months rent free on it. Now, how the fuck I've managed to get that, I don't know. In the position that I'm in, I don't know. But I was honest enough with the people. I told them my situation, told them I didn't have any money. There's no way I could take it on with that kind of the cost of the rent. I'd have to have 6 months up front, and they agreed, they acquiesced. So there is a chance at something there, but how far that's going to go, I don't know. It's in the process of being done at the moment. It looks like it's definitely going to happen, but it also looks like I'm going to have to go bankrupt in my personal. So I'm going to need also to find somebody to become a director of Artisan Island Limited, so that I can come off the board, go bankrupt, and then come back on the board when my bankruptcy finishes. I'm not asking any of you to do that, just like I haven't asked any of you for help with what I'm doing with Artisan Island Limited. I figured if I'd have asked any of you for help, you'd have considered it a piss take. And I didn't want to embarrass myself in asking. So I just plodded on and elicited some help from Artisan Island people, if you like, that are in that kind of area. And so I wasn't blanking anybody, I wasn't dissing anybody. I just thought, for the most part, you've had enough. You know, you've had enough of me, you've had enough of what's gone on, you've had enough of TGBCH. Nobody's interested. The TGBCH coins, they work. Did they go up in value? Yes, they did. Were coins sold for 50 quid and 80 quid? Yes, they were. Could I get enough people interested to sell out quickly of each coin? No, I couldn't. So we have an idea that works, but because of all the shit that went before, people weren't interested yet. Had I done the coins before all the shit hit the fan, we would have sold out every single one we produced. So certainly doing 100 at a time. So you have to take the thingy from that and say, look, they're not interested. They don't want to know. Half of them are just being polite. They don't want to know, Ian. Stop trying to force them. So that's what I've got to do. But of course then, the abuse starts from the odd person like this morning who refused point blank. I mean, there was a lot of people refused point blank to help, refused point blank to look after their investment. And then now, once everything, the shit hits the fan, they're like, where's my money? And at the time, whilst I was doing everything I was doing the last couple of years, those people are quite happy for other people, those of you that were helping, they're quite happy to sit on their fucking laurels and let you, you know, help in order to maybe get me some money so that I could pay back some bills, including theirs, you know. And it don't work that way. All those people that didn't bother helping, but continued watching and watching and watching, but not helping and not helping and not helping, well, you have to take a tinsy bincy wincy wincy tinsy bit of responsibility for, like, well, you could have helped and you fucking didn't. Maybe if you'd have helped, it wouldn't be where it is. Maybe it'd still be where it is. I don't know. Who knows the answer to that question? Anyway, I'm going to catch up with my mate here. I wanted to give you an update. I wanted to let you know what was going on. Please put your comments in the comments section. If you're interested in me showing you Artisan Island and how it's working and how I've managed to keep a fucking job when I shouldn't have one, then I will do a video and show you. But I'm just getting the impression that most of you, you know, don't even want to hear from me, to be honest. And I don't blame you for that. Anyway, so thanks very much. And we'll catch up soon.